Joe Strong.
Yeah, that was a bit loud.
Man, I got carried away there.
All right, fellas. So tell us a little bit about how you guys met and how you know each other.
Well, I'm his dad. So he's my son. So what a good combination.
Well, Master Joe, how long have you been, I guess, in martial arts for?
I started training in 1970. And one of the main reasons was, at that time, being bullied and going through that era of being called a wog and all that type of stuff. So you had to learn to defend yourself because every day you're being harassed or bullied. So you needed to, unfortunately, physically resort to violence to protect yourself.
How old were you then?
Well, I would have been around 12, 11.
Yeah, it's pretty awful when you're picked on when you're young and you're outnumbered and you're terrified.
Yeah.
If you don't know what to do, right?
Yeah. Because I remember I left to go to Italy when I was very young, about 6. So when I came back, I had no English language at all. I can only speak Italian. So when I got here, I went to school, I went to primary school, and you got picked on every day because there was no way of communicating. So the only way to communicate, I guess, in those days was with your fists, because of course you're frustrated because you can't get your message across. People don't understand you. They alienate you. So, and as a child, you just don't know what to do.
Yeah, wow. And Chris, you've been doing martial arts since you were 6 months old? Or?
I think I started around 4.
Yeah, he was around 3.5, and he used to walk on the mats, train, and he got bored, he left and come back again. So everywhere we went, he was always there on training, competitions. He basically grew up in the martial arts.
I remember school holidays, he used to do training with people, and I used to go with you and sit on the sides and watch.
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It was just very artistic. It was nice to see, as a kid, you don't think your arms and legs can move so fluidly. Like it was very pleasing to watch. And back then it was nice to see some of our students, all the acrobatic stuff they used to do. It was cool. So I enjoyed watching it, and then I tried to do it, and then, it was good.
So you're saying Master Joe was doing flips and stuff?
He was doing flips and cartwheels and side splits and everything.
Where did those days go?
Well, we saw the video of you that George sent you, doing your spinning kicks and everything.
We used to do a lot of demonstrations in those days. And people liked visual and music, put it together, and it was fun. People used to love to perform. And then we just went through a different path and went into competitions. But I regret not continuing the demonstrations and the music, because we had costumes and weaponry and all that, musicals, and people loved that. They really enjoyed that because anybody can do it. You don't have to have a specific talent for fighting, and fighting is very short-lived, but performing can be done at any age. We had George, who was one of our guys. George, he was in his 40s, and he was doing demos and that. So he was able to do it.
Yeah, it's so cool. You've had your dojo for how many years now?
Well, since full-time, since 1992.
How many years is that roughly to today? Like around
92, 2002.
32 years.
So?
32 years.
32 years full-time.
Yeah,
Prior to that, it was part-time. We started in 1984, part-time in school halls, church halls, and then we found the premises in Maroubra, and we were able to get a good price back then, which was very, very cheap. And we were going to try it for 12 months to see if it worked. And the rest is history. It worked, and we just persevered.
Yeah, my God, like that's so 40 plus, that's almost 40 years of running, dojo. And that's pretty, you would have had how many students over the years come through the dojo, like thousands or?
I'd say, yes, thousands, a lot, because when we started, there was basically in our area, there was only 3 schools, myself, Taekwondo, karate school, and a judo school. And that was basically it. Not like today, where nearly every corner there is someone teaching some form of martial art. But back in those days at the PCYC, and boxing, of course, but people loved to see kicks and aerial stuff and stuff like that. So Taekwondo was back then one of the most practiced martial art around because it was dynamic, it wasn't static, it wasn't too traditional yet traditional. So a lot of people liked that.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, what would you say your dad's credentials are? Like, what is he? Like, belt is he? What is he? Like, because it's weird talking about yourself.
There's he's got too many to list. I mean, he's been in it for such a long time that he's trained with so many people. He's pursued it as his, it's his passion. It's his full-time job. It's more than a hobby for him. It's him. Martial arts is him. So he's got Taekwondo black belts. He does Muay Thai. He's done karate, weapons, jiu-jitsu. He's done everything. And I'm sure I'm only naming a few of the styles he's done.
Yeah, is anything you missed that you want to say?
No, that's okay. I mean, it's a lifelong journey. You're always learning. Doesn't matter what rank you have around your waist. The best thing is to keep a white belt in your heart and in your mind and learn for life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you love martial arts.
Yes, I absolutely. I love it more now than when I first started. I guess the reason being might be that you've come to an age where you know that you are limited in what you can and cannot do, so you want to strive and go back. But that's why I keep telling people today, enjoy your youth, make the most of it, because that will pass by so quickly and then you'll have regrets. I should have done this and I should have done that. Martial arts is great for everyone, man, woman, child, any age. The benefits, not just physically, but mental benefits are amazing.
Yeah, we should touch on that. Like today, things have changed a lot.
Yeah.
Since when you started martial arts, social media, school issues, parenting's changed a lot, and you would have seen that through your dojo as well, just different issues. I think martial arts is probably one of the most useful things parents could get their kids to do right now. And I mean that for a few reasons. I want to hear your thoughts on this, boys. Is because although you might think people will be like, oh, we're not kicking and punching anymore, but really, I mean, if you've got daughters, we learn slip, slop, slap. Our daughters, they need to especially know how to defend themselves.
Yeah.
What do you think, boys?
100%. Self-defense is one of the most important aspects of learning a martial art. That's how it all became. It wasn't a sport. There was no... everybody back in those days trained for a reason, not just... They didn't train for fighting competitions. That wasn't what they made. Especially a lot of people in Asia, going to train every day is just part of their normal life. Not like us here that... Okay, Monday, Wednesday, we're going to do this, and then Tuesday, Thursday, we do that. Their every day is training day. It's part of their culture, it's part of their lifestyle. So, and what it taught them is structure and discipline where we lack it today. There is no structure, very limited in discipline. But back in those days, especially traditional martial arts, people knock traditional martial arts, but the traditional martial arts installed values and disciplines and respect and honor in everyone. Because you come to a dojo, dojang, whatever you want to call it, there is a structure, there's a bowing in, bowing out, you respected your partner. Of course, you trained very hard, but you were there to develop as a human being. Now, you go to training, the world has changed, you train to win or lose. And the biggest opponent you're ever going to have in your life is yourself. If you can conquer yourself, your fears, your limitations, and the little dark demons that everyone has in their mind, if you can conquer that's what martial arts is. Not the medals, not the trophies, not the winning or the losing. It's developing yourself as best as you possibly can.
It's bang on. I mean, with parents, you would have seen a lot, Chris, come through with... you would have seen a fair few kids light up with martial arts. You know, like the naughty, maybe the kids are good luck with them, and they're good. I don't know if you've had to iron some kids out there, or
we've had in our time kids that come in really undisciplined, really wild, and then the structure and the consistency, and then that consistent structure, and they just they follow. They follow the environment that we instill in the class, and for some kids, it's probably what they've been looking for, what they needed. And then once they latch onto it, they're just like a new child. And the parents will tell us, when they're here, they're amazing. When they're home, they're different. But when they're here, they listen. We ask them to cross their legs, they cross their legs. We ask them to put their hand up, they put their hand up. It's big difference.
Yeah, I think you touched on something really important, Joe, is that if you want to be disciplined, you can't be disciplined without structure. And so often, I'll be controversial here, but I feel like there is parents and a parenting approach which is a bit loose. And that might have come as a result of maybe being brought up in a tyrannical parenting themselves. Like, this is my way or the highway, and it's made them want to parent their kids completely opposite. But you can't have too loose of a structure, or kids aren't disciplined. They're undisciplined, and they will go to one thing and not do well quickly and then quit, and then do another thing and they quit. I know this from having youth centre myself with hundreds of kids over the years and mentoring kids, thousands of kids around Australia, that those kids that don't have structure, they're undisciplined and wild usually, and they would wonder why they're not very good at stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think if anything, martial arts is an antidote to that in an environment that parents would benefit from seeing their kids to. Although for you guys, it could be a challenge at times.
Well, yeah, we can't lie. We do get our challenges. There are some that are a big challenge. It takes a lot of nurturing and a lot of patience on our side and the parent side as well. Sometimes parents think it's going to be a quick 180 in a lesson or two. And we tell them it's a process. It's a process. It's a slow process for some kids, but they get there. All the kids get there eventually.
Would you prescribe, if you could prescribe Australia, idealistically, if you could prescribe Australia to do something with martial arts, if every Australian had to do one thing with martial arts, what would you recommend doing? One or two belts just to get through as a life skill? Like, if we could make this almost like a class at school.
I think so. I think, there's the physical sides that we've mentioned, there's the mental sides that we've mentioned, there's all those things that come with it, like goal setting and the discipline aspect and the life skills aspect. So I think getting kids introduced into that at an early age is very important. Because most of the kids, once they leave school, they go to uni or TAFE or they work, they're not going to start up a martial art. Like, they've moved on. They'll do weekend sport with their mates or something like that. But in the kids, in the youth, it's introducing it to them then. And the skills that they learn and the mobility and the flexibility that they attain from martial arts at a young age, that's going to help them as they get older. Because, their body's still loose, they can still move. Maybe not how they did as a kid, but the body remembers, the muscles remember, everything remembers how to move and how to have that flexibility and mobility through the body.
What makes a good martial artist, Joe, in your view?
It's a very good question.
Apart from being like Bruce Lee, wearing a yellow pajama suit, which I love.
Well, as I said before, it's not... To me, the martial art is not about being the best puncher, the best kicker, the best fighter. It's being the best that you can possibly be on an everyday scale, whether it's in the gym, whether it's business, whether it's home, whether it's as a parent. The martial arts gives you that thing to fall back onto when you have mental problems, you have struggles, you have something, gives you that strength. Because attaining the black belt, it's taking you to a point where you think or you feel you cannot go any further. You're tired, you're hurting, you want to cry. And people do cry, they do vomit, but they get to the point and say, I can't do this anymore, I can't do it, I've had enough of it. But pushing that little bit extra, and you will take that lesson into life. When things get harder, you just go back and think, I achieved that by doing this, and I can transfer that into this particular thing that I'm doing now. I'm sick of this, I'm going to quit. And that's what we are finding and seeing more so now. Every day, people quit as soon as you things get a little bit harder, they quit. And unfortunately, parents agree to that. So what they've done now is planted the seed in their child that, yes, okay, things get tough, you're allowed to quit. But no, you started it, you made a commitment, you got to see it through.
There's a saying in the martial arts that kids don't quit martial arts, parents quit the martial arts.
That's right.
So the parents are the ones that, like you said, they say, you don't want to do it? Okay, that's fine. Don't do it, we'll do something else.
It's interesting. Like martial arts is one of the greatest examples of what it takes to be a master at something, because with the belt system, in order to become a master at something, whether it be the black belt signifying that or whatever that level is, you have to take on a worthy opponent.
Mm-hmm.
You seek out to be challenged versus seeking out the easiest level.
Mm-hmm.
And that is countercultural. That you can only improve if you find a willing opponent. And I do love recent shows like Pokemon and all these cartoons growing up with them, because they do have Japanese philosophy in it. Some of the fighters in the shows I've watched as a kid, they're the best losers. They actually thank their opponent for beating them in the show. It's beautiful. And I want all the kids to be able to see that, because why would you be thankful to lose?
It's a lesson learned. And it's you've made him aware of, okay, this is what I need to improve upon. And you move on from there. Yeah, that's why I says in 1970 when I started training, I did it because of a necessity of being bullied and harassed. But then when I saw Bruce Lee in 1973 on the screen in Fist of Fury, I wanted to be just like him. And I'm sure every person of my era at that time also wanted to be like him. But of course, no one can. There will never be another Bruce Lee. But not only was he a great fighter, martial artist, charismatic, his philosophy, what he said and how he was able to describe things and get it across into the Western world, when at that point in time the Asians were looked down upon. And he was the only man in the history that was able to bring forth and out to the Western world the Chinese culture. Because prior to that, everything was closed doors. But he went against the system and he said, I'll teach whoever I want to teach. If you want to learn, I will teach you. And but the philosophy behind his movements, why, even to this day, his flame has not died. It just keeps burning brighter and brighter. And if he was only alive today, who knows what he could have done. But he was the greatest inspiration for me, Bruce Lee, because it wasn't just about fighting, it's about life. His philosophy, be like water, be adaptable to life. I mean, how great of a lesson is that?
Yeah, it's one of the coolest things from our time together, boys, is the thing that's on our shirts right now. Tell us a little bit about where that came from.
It's you, Jai Strong.
Well, Jai Strong is a collective between the three of us. We had a lot of thought about it, so we decided to be strong. The reason being strong means you can overcome any hurdles in life. And the word behind it, the meaning behind it, decide, commit, achieve. Anything you do in life, whatever you do, there must be a decision first. I want to do this. Fine. Now we need to commit to it. By committing to it, you're going to keep following through, and then eventually you will achieve. So without having those three things together, whether it's martial arts, homework, football, soccer, marriage, relationship, business, whatever, if you don't decide, you don't commit, you're never going to achieve. So without having those 3 points together, you can use them in anything in life, not just martial arts. And Jai Strong gives us that, okay, things are tough, okay, decide, commit, achieve. Jai Strong, let's do it. Let's not give up.
Yeah, just rest my engine. Yeah, what's this? What is it? Jai Strong, right?
Jai Strong.
Yeah, it's the battle cry. It's that community, that philosophy there that's grounded in so many years of what you've seen. And I think it's such a really powerful thing for students to come into an actual system like that, like a belief system like that. Like, because if you don't, then everything's relative. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just achieve the way I want to. No, there's a sequence to doing things well. You can't build a house in any sequence.
That's right. That's why you have a belt system, because you have step by step by step by step. And then when you get the black belt is a combination of all the colors together. So basically the black belt is the mastering of the basics. And then from the black belt on, it's like going to university and getting your honors and masters. There's much more to learn. And unfortunately, people stop at that black belt level. But they don't realize that the beginning of your journey is the black belt. Because then you can understand things better. You can understand, why is this kick done this way? Why am I moving this way? In the past, you say, okay, my teacher told me to do it. But then when you achieve that black belt, you kind of step back and you look at it and say, now I know why I'm doing this. So now you're on a different path, a different journey to your masters, to your honors, to your whatever you want to call them. But your PhDs, the black belt never stops. It's always constantly searching for improvement. So the black belt is the beginning of the new beginning. Mastering the basics, you're good at the basics, the block, the punches, the kicks, good stability, foundation, balance. But now we have to take that to the next level. And that's where a lot of people miss out on, the beauty of what they can achieve after that.
That's so beautiful. Is that so cool?
Very cool.
What do you feel when you hear your dad say that?
It's nice to hear it from him. You know, he doesn't often talk about his thoughts in these things. So it's nice to hear it from him with all the years of experience he has and all the people he's met and the people he's had conversations with. So it's nice to hear it from his words.
Yeah, I mean, you do shit in a running race and you get a ribbon still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's different about you guys. Like, you both are aware of people are driven sometimes for belts. Some people, that's why it's so important we have these conversations, for the chance for people to hear that it's more than the belt. Even though there's great to achieve the belt, you guys still have, nothing's going to take away, you earned it. But we don't hand out belts without, you guys don't hand out belts just because you want one, right? I can't buy a black belt from you, right? No. Well, everyone has their price, but
No. There's one thing that we do not compromise at all. It doesn't matter what the price is. We will never give you a black belt, no matter what. Even if you give me a Ferrari, which is my dream car, you will never get a black belt from me unless you're on the mats, training, earning it. Because no one can ever take that feeling away of having the belt wrapped around your waist. You know, that's a feeling that's, wow, I did this. And you cannot buy that. But if you want to buy it, get on eBay.
Yeah. It's something that's a bit of a challenge at the moment. I think earning your skill and earning your stripes and doing the time and being hit on the mats and stuff. I think, what do you guys have to think about the fear of being hit today? Like, I think a lot of parents I think a lot of parents today are so let me say it again with the edit. Parents are weird, aren't we? Like, we're happy to send our kids to go football and they get tackled and they get grazes and even broken bones, but don't hit my kid at the mats in the dojo, right?
That's right.
What's going on there?
I don't know. I think parents fear the worst and kids think that it's something more chaotic than what it really is, and we try to explain to the parents that, we're teaching them skills. Now, the sparring components is the practical components. It's where you learn how to put the skills in play and you build your confidence that you can handle if someone's trying to attack you and you know what you need to do to respond. And the kids wear protective equipment and everything, but the kids they freak out. And the parents just say, okay, well, we won't do it. Mm-hmm. But, this is one of the reasons why you put your kid into martial arts. Confidence, so they can protect themselves. But when we provide that opportunity, it's the parents take it away and they say, no, we're not going to do it.
The problem is, if you're playing football, like tackle football, there'll be a chance that you will get in a fist fight. in a season. That's where whatever training exists in you or lack thereof will come out.
That's right. That's true.
What do you have to say about that, Joe? Like, it's. Have you seen that change over the years?
Oh, 100%. I mean, people, for example, we run our system by the term. So term 1, term 4, grade terms, term 2, term 3. Sorry, we have to leave now. We have to play soccer and football. So it's part of our national culture for football and netball and all that, which is great. But I think the benefits of what the martial arts can give to enhance those sports and those activities is even greater than what they think it is. Speed, agility, timing, concentration, attitude, all these things that would help them to get to the ball faster, side shift quickly out of the way, that comes from martial arts training. But they don't realize that. They look at it as, oh, it's just another recreational activity. There are so many hidden gems in the martial arts training that can be translated into all forms of sports, life skills and everything. But, I think in football, soccer, netball, all these things are always on social media, on TV, all these things. So kids want to do it. But the parents just say, well, yes, you want to do that, but you need also to do this because this is great for you overall development, not just a specific part of your sporting development. And then you have winners and losers in that. But in the martial arts, there is no loser.
It's just learning. Yeah, talk us a little bit about, you've been doing adult self-defense with weapons, right? So is it the right phrase? Like, the
with knives, defending against knives and stuff like that, sticks and stuff like that.
Yeah, is it the women's self-defense?
Yeah, women's self-defense, yeah. It's we do have normal self-defense for women, from punches, from grabs, to defend against a slap, a hold, stuff like that, and also for knife attacks. And we run women's self-defense courses which caters for that. But having said that, even if you do a 5-week or an 8-week course or a 1-month course, it's still very limited knowledge because repetition, constant repetition and the confidence to be able to react in a real situation is totally different. Because in a safe environment in your gym, or dojo, whatever you want to call it, they're coming at you, they do this, I do that, you do that, fine, look, this is great. But in reality, it's not like that. You have a bit of knowledge, you understand what positioning you will have your body in if that situation did occur. Are you going to get cut? 100%. You will always get cut when someone has a knife. But where you get cut will determine if you're going to go home that night. And being put under pressure, like when someone constantly attacking you, is really to see whether you can quickly adapt and react to that position or just cover your face and fold into it. And you cannot learn that in 5, 6 weeks, a month or 2 months. It takes years of practice until it becomes second nature. Somebody hits you, just flinch, you know what to do instead of going like this to protect yourself. And that most people will do that because that's part of human nature. You hear a big bang coming out of a car, you go, oh, gee, what was that? Instead of just looking and not really worrying about it because it hasn't startled you or scared you that much because it's something that not normally happens every day.
How are some of the women's response? What's the general response when women go through the training? They go in not sure what they're going to get, and do they come out what feeling, what saying what?
Well, a lot of them were a bit nervous, apprehensive about it. But then one of the mothers, she went home and did it on her husband, and
the husband told me he thought that she was just going to try and lift him up and trip him over, and then he said, she tried to poke my eyes out, she tried to rip my ear. He goes, I didn't know she was going to do that to me. And we're trying to explain to him, well, this is self-defense. You want your wife to know these things because she might be on her own, she might be with the kids, she's got to protect us, so she's got to do whatever she can do to get home safely.
And he's not a small man, he's a very big man too, so...
Good on her.
He's a big muscle guy. He goes to the gym. So, and I think he kind of go, wow, geez, you can do this? So that was good. I was happy to see that.
Yeah, good on her.
She wasn't, no, I couldn't do it. Because we try to tell them that, there are going to be situations, heaven forbid if it happens, but if it does, you have to understand you're going to have to go that extra step. Would you be prepared, poke the guy's eyes or rip his ears off or throat, because this is survival now. We're not sport. This guy's trying to harm you, so you're going to have to do whatever you can to defend yourself. So, and this girl did it, this mother did it, and so I was very surprised, and because I didn't think she would. She didn't look like the type in class, but boy. And then when we got the last session, when we got the guys to come in to attack them, these women went crazy. So it just goes to show it can be taught, it can be trained, because I always say to them, what I'm going to show you, it's only going to work if you believe in it. If you say, I could never do this, or I don't know if that would work. If you have any negativity about it, doesn't matter how much you train, it's not going to happen. You need to believe it. You need to own it. And if you can believe it's going to happen and you do it, and every single one of them that was grabbed, punched, attacked with a knife, they got cuts here and there, but they got the guy down, which I was surprised that they did that in how many weeks was it?
It was an 8-week program, but not all of them did the full 8 weeks.
That's right. And it was only 45 minutes long.
Wow.
So imagine if they were doing this, say, 3 months, 6 months to a year, how great or how skillful they could be, how confident they would be.
Yeah. Because you want to create healthy families, wise families, healthy, wealthy, and wise, the old saying. And we want to provide for our family, but we want to make sure we go out there and can protect them. And if it's your partner who's maybe a female who's with the kids a lot, or she's out at work or something like that, if she doesn't know any training, physical training, maybe she does Pilates. How's that going to help her?
Yeah.
Maybe she could run fast. That'd be good. Run as fast as you can.
Well, if you get into a position where you can get out of there quickly and run, by all means, get out of there.
Get the hell out.
But then sometimes you might get cornered in a position or you got nowhere to go. You need to have some form of skills, some form of ability, not necessarily to win, but to get out of that situation.
Yeah, especially if they're a person that is much bigger than you.
Yeah, 100%.
Your training, it seems like with that woman, like that will work against any monster. But that's just something I always say to my mates, like send your missus to yoga or Pilates, it's good for them, but send them to martial arts because, mate, if the moment comes, you'll be regretting. It's just one of those life skills.
That's right.
But we focus so much on things that we don't think it will happen to us. But we know the stats are up on DV and all that. So anyone out there, if they're thinking about learning something, mate, that is worth every penny because you don't rise to the level of your expectation. You default to the level you're training in anything in your life. And what's in you right now is, regardless if you can't just think your way out of a situation like that. It's like, oh God, I wish I had done it. I wish I'd done the work. But it's really cool. And you got that friend. Who was his name? What was his name?
Carl.
Carl. Tell us about. Carl was your guinea pig a bit, right?
Carl was there and he all volunteered to get smacked, kicked, thrown, stomped on. He didn't mind. He enjoys being manhandled by women.
Yeah, Carl. Shout out to Carl. He's dead now. No, he's not dead. He was taken out in week 8 by some woman. Now, I think a couple more questions. The business your business, it's been 30, 40 years, Joe, and you've got your son here who's handsome and he's a handsome man. His kids are involved in the business too. Like it's like history. It's beautiful to see a family business. It's actually quite rare to see a family business, especially in an industry like martial arts, because so many come and go. It's not an easy feat what you have done.
It's not an easy field, but I guess I was also lucky in the time that I did it. It was a different era. there wasn't distractions like today and social media and all that. Kids were tougher. And, you know, we just persevered. But I never went into it to make money. I went into it because I loved the martial arts. And I was working part-time, full-time, this was part-time. And then my wife said, well, give it a go. Try it out for 12 months. And it, you know, for 9 months, we hardly had any students. And then all of a sudden, bang, things happened.
Wow.
And we just kept going and growing and growing and growing, and it was great. I mean, it's unbelievable that the growth potential, the growth that we had back in those days. And I think being the only one in the area and being known for competition successes, the lack of activities, soccer wasn't that popular back in those days. So we had so many students of all nationalities.
And what's it like working with your dad? Like you're saying off camera, you've been at the mats since you were at school, right?
Yeah, I've always been involved in the martial arts. So even as a kid after primary school, I used to get picked up and taken to the PCYC in Daceyville and train and sit on the side, jump on the trampoline. I remember I'd always be doing something. But no, working in the family business is great. I mean, they're very open to, if I have a suggestion on something, you know, they're very good like that. So it's an easy transition for me.
Yeah, it's a big thing to pass on, and to see you guys working together is pretty cool. You fight much?
Oh, we have our disagreement every now and then. Like I might think things should be done this way, and he'll say no, it should be done this way, and then we've got to try and find a common ground. And then Mum will tell us we're both wrong, and we got to do it her way. So we have our little disagreements, but most of the time we're all on the same path because we all have the same thing we want. We want the kids to have a fun time. We want them to enjoy the training. We want them to get better at what they're doing. So we all have the same goals. So I think because we all have the same goals, we all just want to kind of achieve it in the way that we think will work, and that's it. But most of the time we all agree on the path.
Yeah. What does martial arts mean to you, Ben? Like,
It means a lot because it's all I know. I mean, growing up, I just assumed every kid did martial arts. I didn't know kids didn't do martial arts. It's only once speaking to my friends at school, they're like, no, we don't do any sport. You know, we don't do anything. It's basically school and go home, do art class or, you know, watch the Power Rangers after school. But there was, you know, no one did martial arts. So, you know, for me, I don't know anything other than martial arts. Like that's, to see that kids don't get involved in martial arts is so foreign to me. Like all the benefits that I've had growing up, and now I see my kids have, you know, growing up. You know, my son's in high school now. He's got his own challenges, and he's training with kids and teens and adults who are older than him, and he's just confident. It's like, you know, okay, that's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. Got to train there. You know, my little one, she's 5. She trains with the 9, 10-year-olds where she's not supposed to. But again, she doesn't know any different. She's like, that's what I got to do, then that's what I got to do. And it's good that my kids are that way because they need to be like that as they get older with other things. You know, you got to study. Okay, well, if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. And, you know, term 2 in our life school was about self-discipline. It was about, this is the topic, self-discipline. What is self-discipline? And how to chat with the kids and getting the kids on board with being more self-disciplined at home, at school, at training, things like that.
yeah. No, I'm really happy with a lot of the things that we've done together over the last months. Especially like seeing you guys apply your values throughout the business, which is really great because like what Joe said about, you know, it's never been about money, it's been about martial arts, but that looks like something. And how you guys, we applied a few things, right? Let's recap on that a bit. I like some of the life skill stuff we tried out. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was good feedback from the parents. Parents were happy. Parents could see that their kids were trying at least to implement something. And then we'd chat to the kids at the start of every class. You know, what's the focus? What does it mean? Is anyone doing it? And, you know, a lot of them will say, yeah, I'm packing up my toys. I'm not leaving it for mum to tell me. You know, I'm finishing my food at school because I know that I need to eat my lunch because it's important, because mum's making me nutritious food and I shouldn't throw it away because it's a waste. So kids are starting to connect the dots. And I think that if we can provide extra value to the families and the kids, then that's fantastic for us.
It's lovely to see family work together. It's lovely to see something that has continued to be committed to past someone's life, being time on the planet. Like, you've been doing this longer than Chris has been alive, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty special, man. And the things you've seen over the decades, you've got still so much to give to the community and to the martial arts guys, even though definitions may change.
Yeah. I just feel like I've been lucky and blessed to be able to do what I love to do and to make a living from it and to be able to provide a pathway to my son, my grandkids, that they can continue this journey if they want to, which I think is a beautiful journey. And then to see what positivity we have given to people that come to our school, the camaraderie, the friendships that we've built, how they've transformed themselves and what they've become when they do become black belts. From 4-year-olds now they're instructors at our school. You know, people got married that they met at our school. I'm sure a lot of people got divorced too that they met at our school. But we don't talk about those. But the thing being, it's not just you come, you pay, I teach you, goodbye. We like to have a community, and people have now communities within our community that they go out together, they party, they go for dinners and stuff like that. So it brings people in and gives them a nice place to be at. It's not just come to training and goodbye. They have chats now, they communicate with each other, they're there for each other if there's a problem. So it's good to see that. It's not just let's go and hit the bag, let's go home. It's continuously, night times, weekends, and it all comes from that JI family that we were trying to build, and we want to continue building, because I think that's important. Having somewhere to belong, and also gives us the feeling that we belong and we're all one big happy family. We're not always going to have agreement in everything, but our main job is to provide them the best tuition in martial arts that we can. We are there for them. Sometimes people have financial difficulties or whatever. We try to help as much as we can. It's not, as I said, it's not, no, you can't pay, see you later.
Yeah.
So, we want to help people because we all know that martial arts has positive benefits for the kids. And times are tough, parents struggle, the child shouldn't suffer because of that. And we want to help them, and we don't do it for them to pay us back. We do it because we really genuinely care. And I think that one of the reasons why we've been around for a long time. We care about the people. We've had a lot of disappointments over the years with people, but just got to turn the other cheek and keep moving forward.
Yeah. You kick the other, turn the other cheek and keep going. Yeah. Awesome, boys. Thanks for having it. Thanks for being here, boys.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the help you've given us over this time. We learned a lot. Thank you so much.